Welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Knowledge. For a lot of you out there at home, you're going to be watching this video after the fact. And that video is now private, but I literally just went live and I spoke into the nothingness with my mic on mute. So special shout out to McNick and Chevals, and number one mod in the game, and Tap. Appreciate all you guys letting me know. I didn't know why my phone was blowing up next to me, but for all you guys that reached out to me, thank you very much letting me know. But, anyways, the actual title of this video is, listen, I had a pretty cool topic. I was like, something I want to talk about today. Screw it. I'm just going to do this title of this video. Everyone in Pokemon is evil. There's a lot of craziness going on right now, a lot of drama. Listen, I think a lot of people out there, they think drama doesn't have a place in Pokemon. I'm going to give you guys a little harsh reality check, a little bit of taste of your medicine for you guys. Drama is about as Pokemon as it gets. There's so much drama that has happened, continues to happen, and will happen in this hobby for whatever. Look at what happened at Worlds really recently. You had that player who, was going to probably be in like the top 4, ends up getting pushed down pretty far, ends up not placing just because he did this, during the event. And, it's weird. Pokemon took a weird spot. I don't know. I feel bad for the kid. Like, to get to that level in any trading card, but especially Pokemon, when you talk about competition and everything that is involved in this hobby at the highest level, there's one thing to go into your local LGS and play on your Saturday night or Thursday night Pokemon League, and your only in world is just that one little LGS. You sit in the same seat or you sit in the same table and you play the same, 4 to 8 different people that might show up. It's one thing to do that. It's another thing to do all the things, the regionals and the flights and the hotels and everything that is involved to play Pokemon at the highest levels, to the point where you're getting all the way to Worlds and you do something as simple as that and you get kicked out. Man, that really hurts. But then you have all the drama that happened real recently with the opossum videos and the rattle videos and, people scalping the merch and then people talking about the staff promos. And I'm just going to give everybody a little harsh reality. Everybody in this hobby's evil. Whether you're the collector, whether you're the flipper, whether you're the scalper, whether you're the player, whether you're the investor, whether you're a combination of one of those things, and maybe you're a combination of all those things. Whether you use your knowledge in this hobby for good, whether you use it for bad, whether you use it for your own gain, whether you use your knowledge for other people's gain, it doesn't matter. There will be people in every single part of that line will pick apart. If you abuse your knowledge in this hobby, there are a certain group of people out there that are very, very upset at you because they feel like you are, I want to use the word manipulating the market, but you're using the market, which is Pokemon, for your own benefit. And people call it exploits. Do you hear that? Even people who are, as you guys are engaged, you guys are on a different playing field, different hemisphere than 99.99% of the people in this hobby. The amount of information you have so many more advantages than the average person. And I promise you, even you out there who are watching this video and you think that you are doing nothing wrong, for a certain group of people in this hobby, I promise you, you are the definition of evil. There will be people that probably think you are evil just because you are watching this channel and you watch similar channels. There's a lot of different conversations that go on this hobby at the lowest end to the highest end, but I promise you, depending on who you talk to, every single person in this hobby is just pure evil. I promise you, there are some people who, when they hear me talk or they hear the things I talk about, they just say PK is as evil as they get. Listen to this guy. He flips Pokemon. He invests in Pokemon. He looks for the good buying opportunities. He'll buy out certain products. He'll use his knowledge in this hobby for his own advantage. And whether or not I share any of that information, it doesn't matter, because by me sharing that information, I'm only sharing that information to a small group of people because I have a very limited reach when it comes to this channel. And I am very, very evil in doing that. Spreading information, talking about things. There are people, if you grade cards, just grade cards, whether it's CGC, PSA, SGC, Ace grading, Tree Frog grading, GMA, Tag grading, give me another 3 letters, somebody put MNG, what is the other grading companies I've seen in the past? Beckett, I don't know, just give me 3 letters, just put them together, and there's probably a grading company. But if you grade cards, there's a group of people out there who just don't understand it. They just think you're the definition of evil. And, you know, Opossum Bud brought up a good conversation of, is there any different from the person that's scalping the products outside of Pokemon Center versus people selling staff promos? And then, you know, Rattle made his video, brought up all his points, saying that, you know, there is a difference. Where I personally, so listen, at the end of this video, if you guys made it 6 minutes, unfortunately, I have a pre-recorded response to this. I am going to play the pre-recorded response about what I think about this whole Pokechloe, Rattle, Opossum. Who else was involved? Shiny Vert, his video was rough to watch. His was... It was weird. It was a lot of, like, the wildest form of speculation. Like, saying, oh, people went there for free and they got these promos for free. There was no, like, very, 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 very little bit of truthful information and some really, really giant leaps. I think that video came out pretty bad. But I don't think really a lot of people are talking about, like, the Shiny Vert video, which I've met Shiny Vert in person. I met him in Charlotte. He was super nice to me. But the takes he had were wildly speculative, which there's a point where, like, I love to be speculative, but you can't go so far past what could even be possible, too, you know, with your speculation, because then at that point it just feels like you're making up stuff. But everybody in this hobby is evil. I want everyone to know that. The background of this is Team Rocket. And listen, pretty soon we're going to get that Glory of the Team Rocket set at Worlds. We saw a very, very small hint that the Team Rocket set is coming out. They're more talking about, like, the gym sets are going to come out. Probably be very similar to, like, a gym challenge, gym heroes type feel, with where the, like, you know, Pokemon trainer is, like, their face on the card, and then you saw the N with Reshiram. That's going to be a solid set. The later sets of Scarlet and Violet already look like it's going to be pretty good. Oh, man, I can't even remember the name of the new set. What's the new Spark set? It was just released. Let's see. It's the newest Pokemon set. What is the name of it? It has Pikachu on the ETB. Sparks. Something Sparks. Surging Sparks. So this is going to be the Dragon set. This was the set that a lot of people were speculating on for Pokemon, saying, you know, the end of Scarlet and Violet is going to bring some banger sets. They said it's going to bring the Dragon set, which this Surging Sparks is going to have a dragon type feel to it with some of the Pokemon that are in there. There is, like, the it's not a Alolan Executor, it's whatever the normal Executor is. But even now with, like, the promos, they went back to a Magneton for the ETB promo. I don't really know 100% why Pokemon keeps going back to these Gen 1 Pokemon. Like, listen, I'm a Gen 1 fanboy through and through, but I don't really love Magneton cards, because when I think about Magneton cards, I'm pretty basic when I think of Magneton. There's 2 Magnetons that instantly come to my brain. One, base set. Number I don't want to say the wrong numbers. What number is it? It doesn't. I'm not even going to try to guess what number Magneton is. But I think of the base set one, and then I think of the Skyridge Magneton, because there's 2 different ones in base set, which I never really understood. I think of the one in Base and I think of the one in Skyridge, because there's two in Skyridge, and I never understood why there was two in Skyridge. And if you do enjoy like WotC cards, Magneton got pushed by Wizard of the Coast in every single set. They really, really wanted Magneton to like take hold as being a huge Pokemon. It never happened. But now this Surging Sparks is going to have like the Japanese dragon sets in it. I see. What is that? You got, listen, and then you got a Pikachu, so you're probably going to have like a Chase Pikachu. It's going to be pretty big. And then you have the Evolution set coming pretty soon after this. And then after the Pikachu set, you have the Glory of the Team Rocket set. The last end of Scarlet and Violet is going to be like an absolute banger type sets, but during Pokemon Worlds, when it came to the Team Rocket set, they showed the R and they showed a Mewtwo. So I am looking forward to a Rockets Mewtwo again. But I'm not talking about like old WotC style Rocket Mewtwo. I'm hoping we see like an armored Mewtwo-esque type feel to it. And think about like what a lot of people's favorite Mewtwo is in this entire hobby. A lot of people's favorite Mewtwo in this hobby is the Shining Legends Mewtwo. And we call it the Mewtube, Mewtube. I think a lot of people say that. They never understand, like, are they saying Mewtwo? No, Mewtube. Because if you know the Shining Legend card, it's a Mewtwo, like, in the test tube where he's being created by Team Rocket. And if you watch that original Pokemon movie, or you watch the reprint that they came out with, that card in Shining Legends, while Shining Legends itself, for a lot of people, is not a great set, I could take it or leave it. I like myself some Shining Legends. It was pretty old by the time, but that Mewtwo, that card always sold strong. Do you know, when I think back on all the cards that I could really ever think about, the Mewtwo from Shining Legends is one of the only cards that I never remember that card dropping substantially in price. At release, it wasn't selling for crazy, but I never, and I could be biased, but I never remember that card crashing and burning. That card always stayed pretty level and always sort of staggeringly or gradually like went up a little bit. Never had crazy price like spikes, but was always a relatively expensive card for what that set was. And I think that the one reason that card was always relatively expensive, always held relatively high demand, is because that card tells a great story. And that card, you know, you can make your argument about Pokemon, how even Pokemon trainers are evil. Pokemon hobby enthusiasts are evil because you're making different animals fight. Like, that's the definition of what Pokemon is. But the story behind Mewtwo is one of the darker stories in all of Pokemon. That they took this genetic code from Mew, and then, you know, through, you know, bioengineering, they were able to create this godlike psychic Pokemon. And this godlike psychic Pokemon only ever knew pain. It only ever knew suffering. It only ever knew tortured. It was born into captivity. And it was born with the sole intention to do evil things, because it was created by Team Rocket for total world world domination, I guess you'd say. It's a dark story. Mewtwo is a dark story. It is the darkest story of all of Pokemon. And the fact that we're going to get a Team Rocket's S Mewtwo, and it takes Ash at the end of the Pokemon movie when he goes and he runs out and he cries for his Pokemon. And then Mewtwo realizes, like, wait a second, all humans are not evil. Why does this young kid, this 10-year-old kid in Ash, caring about his Pokemon, like, why? Because Mewtwo never saw that. He never saw anybody care for him. So he just instantly assumed all humans didn't care about their Pokemon, and they just, you know, wanted to abuse and take advantage of their Pokemon. But as Ash, like, sacrifices himself and cries, and his tears, so Ash sacrifices himself for his Pokemon to protect his Pokemon against Mewtwo, and then the tears of all these Pokemon are what is able to come together and bring back Ash from death, because Mewtwo sees it. But it brings a tear to all these Pokemon eyes. So it's in Pokemon, you have one of the worst stories and you have one of the best stories. You have the worst of humans, and then you have the best of humans in Ash. And it's a great story. And I hope that Team Rocket, whatever card they come out with, they're able to show that story in Pokemon. Because this hobby is full of a lot of evil people, man. But yeah. It's, so, if you got, I don't know if I already said this, but I'm going to say it again. If you want to know my official take on the Pokechloe, Rattle, Opossum video, at the very end of this video, I am going to play a pre-recorded thing that I already have pre-recorded. It's going to be at the end of this video, and it's going to give you my thoughts on not just that whole situation, not just where we've came from in this hobby, but where we are today and where we're going to be in the future. And I think it's important that people remember stuff. And I think when you watch the end of this video, you'll either love it or you'll hate it. And some of you guys will understand it, and it will go over some of your guys' head, and it might actually trigger some of you guys what I'm going to play at the end of this video, but I do believe it's important. Yes. So anyways, it is Thursday night. If you guys do not know, every Thursday night at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I do go live. But, is there anybody in this hobby that's not evil? I mean that. Is there anybody in this hobby that you can't pick apart, like, something that they do? People think they're evil. And my opinions have changed on so many things in this hobby. I thought breakers were evil for so long. I thought mystery packs were evil for so long. I thought whatnots were evil for so long, and break-in streams, and I thought scalpers, and I thought flippers, and I thought investors, and I thought collectors, and I thought players, and at some point, and LGSs, and, you know, people that do Pokemon for a living, people that do Pokemon for a hobby. At some point, I've even found myself biased towards every single one of those people, even though a lot of the times I found myself like lumped in with all those groups doing the exact same thing. But I just think it's so easy for everybody to villainize everyone in this hobby. I don't know if it's just human nature, and even just the drama that was like the Opossum and the Rattle videos. How many people, and I mean this, and I don't take this wrong. Listen. There's an old saying, don't throw stones if you live in glass houses. And if there's anybody out there in this hobby who's been involved in as much, or if not the most drama ever, listen, I've been in my share of drama, so I shouldn't be throwing rocks, because trust me, I live in a house made of glass. Not only is my house made of glass, I think my structural supports of my glass house are probably made out of porcelain. Listen, I've been in my share of drama, but how many people were just going back to those Rattle videos and Opossum videos for the sole intention to not rewatch the video? People just kept going back and reading the comment section. I know that there are so many people out there. And you know, the people that are going to go back and keep reading the comment sections are going to be the same freaking people out there again. They're going to tell you time after time, video after video, oh, I hate this Pokemon drama. I can't stand it. I wish it would go away. But yet they'll be the same ones going back time after time and rereading different comments. And that's just the truth. Like, for everybody who tells you they don't enjoy it, they probably love it the most. You know, it's in a way, is it sickening? Yeah, but I've experienced that firsthand, being on the receiving end. And literally, when I did a drama video one time, I just pinned my comment and I said, like this comment if you have now come back to this comment section for the second time to look for drama. And the amount of likes that were on that comment is still to this day the official record of mine for most likes ever on a comment, because I just know people. I know human nature. It's like moth to a flame. I mean, this hobby, people can't get enough of drama, and especially when things start to slow down and start to get a little stagnant. The thing about drama too is there'll just be something new tomorrow. There'll be something new in a week from now. All this stuff will blow out over. People will forget. I mean, there's been so many different arguments that have taken place in this hobby in the last 10 years. It's an insane amount. So, but like I said, at the end of this video, I do have a pre-recorded video that I think puts into context this hobby for us very, very well. And I'm going to end this video on that video, but I'm not there yet. I'm going to read the comments. But again, I did start my last... Tonight, if you guys don't know, this is my second video. I started my first video with my microphone on mute. Chavals said, we're back. Yes, Chavals, appreciate the phone call. Number 1 mod in the game, Drew, said, hell yeah. Namp90 said, you know the rant was good if they were trying to silence him. Yes, it was good. Pokemage said, oh, we're back. Yes. Let's see. If you guys have any questions, now's the time to ask them. Fresh Tat says, Worlds is destroying the community. I'm going to tell you something. You know who is... There's a lot of people that are to blame for a lot of different things in this hobby. Do you know who one of the people that should take the most responsibility, who, in my opinion, is most to blame? And a lot of you guys are going to maybe think that this is unfair, but Pokemon, the company, is most to blame for most of this stuff. Like, all this stuff being scalped, one... Why was the limits for all this product not one for a lot of people? I don't understand that. Why do people need 2 skateboards? Why do people need 2 book bags? Why do people need 2 ukuleles? I don't know. Listen, it's Pokemon's fault because Pokemon... if Pokemon's out there, you could hire me on and I will be the most obvious consultant you can have. Whatever they would pay me, I could just tell you that it would be too much money because the information that I would deliver to them would just be the most obvious information. I would sit in the boardroom and they would be like, for Worlds, we are making skateboards. I'd say, quadruple it. What do you mean, however many you're printing, quadruple it. 4 times that. And they'd go, okay. And then we got this cool ukulele for Hawaii Worlds. It's got like Pikachu with a... hula dress on. I'd say 5x. Whatever you are gonna print 5 times more of that stuff. Print enough of this shit where it's not just Worlds exclusive anymore. Make it so you can get it on Pokemon Center. Print it into oblivion. And then I feel like everyone would just look at me like, what? Why would we print a lot of this stuff? Why would we make... Just make a lot of this shit. I feel like the solution to a lot of these problems is just make a lot of it. It's the same thing what happened with Van Gogh. I could have, again, sat in that boardroom and got paid, and literally would have been the dumbest thing for them to pay me because all I would have kept doing was saying, they were like, oh, we're going to do this big Van Gogh drop. We got a Pikachu with a gray felt hat. It's like a Vincent Van Gogh painting of Van Gogh in a gray felt hat, but we're going to use Pikachu. And I would look at it and say, print 1 million of them. They'd be like, what? I'd be like, print 1 million of them. How many were you going to print? They were like, well, we were going to print 100,000. I would say, print 1 million. Print 2 million. For the Korean Shining Armored Mewtwo that were given away, it was like 2 million of those cards for the Pokemon movie. Print 1 million Pikachu in a gray felt hat promos. Just keep printing them. All that merch you were going to print, how many mugs did you make? Make 1,000 times more. How many posters did you make? It would just be obvious. Pokemon got to take more blame for this. It's event after event, release after release. I don't know if they're just super conservative with all their numbers. There's just no way. We are far away from 2020. A blind man can see the demand that exists for all this stuff in this hobby. Just make more of this stuff. Get rid of scalpers. Don't even allow scalping to be a thing. Can you imagine if Pokemon was able to actually make a product that was super highly in demand and was able to somehow print enough of that where there could be no secondary market price? I don't even know for some products what that number would have to look like. My favorite hypothetical is the one that we never got, is we got the Pikachu in a gray felt hat right there. You got a very famous painting behind me. You got Starry Night. Now imagine that Starry Night painting. So instead of Pikachu with a gray felt hat, you had a Moonbryon staring up at the moon, but it was from Vincent Van would be wanted by, I mean, think of how much demand that Van Gogh Pikachu in a gray felt hat after multiple reprints. How prices for that are still super strong. How many Moonbryons staring up at the moon in a Vincent Van Gogh Starry Night? How many would you have to have printed to make it where the secondary market value of that card is, call it 0, or whatever bulk, however much a bulk card is. A bulk card is a penny. How many of them do you have to, in theory, print for that card? A Moonbryon from Vincent Van Gogh Starry Night staring up at the moon. In theory, how many would you have to print for make that card a 1-cent card? The number is impossible. You know, like a lot of people, there's a lot of like real big numbers that exist in this hobby, and a lot of people try to do calculations for different stuff. A lot of people love statistics, especially when you talk about like really and crazy things like births of, like the birth of the universe and size of the universe and expansion of the universe, and you know, you talk about like multiverses and what infinity could potentially be and all this stuff, right? Like the craziest sort of like physics that you can think of, the craziest numbers, you know. That Moonbryon card to be worth a penny requires like that sort of thinking outside of the box. We're talking quantum physics type thinking. We're talking Einstein, black hole theory type level number thinking in order for that card to get down to a penny. It would require so much of that card to be printed that nobody would even know. I mean, it would be it's just impossible. It's impossible. I'm sure there's a number. But like Pokemon, print more shit. Like that's all I'm trying to say. Is just print more of this stuff. They're so worried about the secondary market. People are so worried about the secondary market. There is an answer for all this. Just print more of this shit. If that is really, really the case. I don't think Pokemon wants to print more of this stuff. They're constantly releasing new products. You don't believe me? Go on Pokemon Center. They just had all that Halloween merch drop. There's some pretty cool stuff. I'm not going to lie. I love Halloween as a holiday. I was looking at all the Halloween merch. I did want some cooler stuff. I usually like the Halloween posters and stuff. The Halloween posters this year, for me, they really missed the mark, a lot of them. Like, I want mean Gengars. I want mean Mimikyus. I want mean Haunters. I want mean Ghastlies. I want mean angry looking, like darker feel Halloween stuff. And we didn't really get any of that for this Halloween merch. There was a couple cool shirts that dropped, a couple cool sweatshirts, but nothing that really tickled the fancy. You know, cancel me. You know, that's it. I can't make it till number 1 in Worlds. Garrett M says, laugh my ass off. I just came from Old Card Shop Retro and Ray talking about jerking off, and now here we are. Oh, there you go. So Nicholas said, Worlds is trying to one-up themselves every year. Last year, the pronoun fiasco was now it's a jerk motion. Next year, the birds will be flying, yeah. So, yeah, last year it was pronouns. I think, like, somebody called, was it a he, she, or she, he? I don't even remember what the person identified as. I don't remember if it was a male or a female and what they identified as. It was crazy. But yeah, it was that. And then that story got picked up by like a lot of different news outlets. It was pretty crazy just over gender pronouns and stuff. And now you got the guy doing the jerking motion. It's wild. I mean, Pokemon is supposed to still be fun, and to be able to have to walk on eggshells around Pokemon is wild. And then, I don't think this is drama, but Cool Trainer Ryan, just in his most recent video, he's finally doing his first ever pack break for, it's like 6 different packs. You get a couple Phantom Forces. I think there's a Flash Fire. I want to say a Legendary Treasure. What was the third set he had? Was it Plasma Blast, I think. So yeah, I think there was like 5 sets, but you get 6 packs because you get 2 Phantom Forces packs. But either way, like, in order to source all those booster boxes, it's super expensive. And Ryan, in order to get into his break, it was like $699. And I think a lot of people were looking at the price and they were upset at how high the prices were. But Ryan's prices were very competitive for what those packs are versus how much it cost to source those from booster boxes. I thought what he offered was a very, very fair price, you know, because again, you're taking, these are box fresh packs, so there's the boxed premium to it. You know, you're gonna have him opening it, you're still gonna have like him, Volt, Rev, like there's the pack opening experience to it. I didn't think the prices were crazy, but there was a lot of people in the comment section that were upset about it. But the weirdest thing is I don't think that they were really understood what they were upset about. Like, I don't think he was crazy upcharging. I just think that the people weren't able to buy into the break because I think that that price point was just too high for people. Which, when you think about it, let's say Ryan was sourcing booster boxes for $90. He has distribution. We know that. So let's say Twilight Masquerade. He had a bunch. He said, okay, I'm doing a booster box break of Twilight Masquerade, and I'm going to charge $5 per pack. His cost per pack is probably right around $2.50. Maybe call it, well, $3 a pack. We'll just say it's $3 a pack, right? And if he charged $5 a pack, the weird thing is I don't think anybody bats an eye. But the price gouging from $5 to $3 is much higher than any sort of price increase he did for his booster box break. So I just found it very, very strange that, like, what people get upset about, you know? Meaning, they would be fine with paying, you know, that premium of $5 a pack for a Twilight Masquerade, knowing that he sourced those boxes from distribution, knowing that he has the lowest possible pack price for those booster boxes. But because that price point is lower, and because maybe then people feel like they could afford it, they would actually be happier paying a higher percentage. It's weird. I think it's weird where people get upset. Like, the prices he was charging for what he's offering, I didn't think it was unreasonable. I'm not going to be buying into that break because I don't really want to open up Plasma Blast packs or, you know, yeah, I don't know. But, like, what people were angry about over that is just so silly. But even that, like the Twilight Masquerade, let's go to the extreme. Let's say he was charging $6 a pack for Twilight Masquerade. I think people would be happy to join into him opening their packs for $6. That is now a insanely high price increase from sourcing those booster boxes at $90 and now selling those packs for $6. That goes back to like 2020 whatnot crazy scalper paradise type situation for Pokemon to be able to sell $6 modern packs. But again, I think people would be more than happy to spend $6 to see CTR. So like if he wanted to, like his percentages could be preposterous. But I think it's just the dollar amount. I think people are just, they get upset over stuff that they shouldn't sometimes. But again, I do have a prepared video at the end of this live that I'm going to press play, and then I'll end the video afterwards. Let's see. Did Jen said, the PokeTrav EA collectibles loose packs drama is wild. Oh, forgot to mention that. Yeah, everyone's evil in Pokemon, but that is pretty interesting. So if you guys don't know, again, Rattle made a great video earlier today. So PokeTrav sold a booster box of, what was it? Yeah, I think it was Neo Genesis first edition. Yeah, I think it was first Neo Gen. Either way, sold the booster box in Neo Gen first edition. I think he sold it for like, I just watched the video, like $26,500 to EA Collectibles. EA Collectibles was doing a booster box break of it on Whatnot. You can tell by like the video that PokeTrav sent him versus the box that EA Collectibles were open. It's obviously the same box. The wrapping was the same. Like all booster boxes everything in this hobby has their own fingerprint. And one of the thing about WotC booster boxes, they have their own fingerprints in the sense that where the wrapping is. So like Wizard of the Coast wrapping. So like here's a booster box. It's got Wizard of the Coast wrapping on it. So you can look and say, okay, this Wizard of the Coast wrapping or marks or logos aren't going to be in the exact same spot on every single box. They're going to be a little bit off, so it acts like a fingerprint. So when you look at the bottom of this Quidditch Cup box, yes, Quidditch Cup, this is open. This is an open one. But you can look at the wrapping and you can say, oh, okay, this one probably went to this booster box because I have it down there. So here's an example. I got two Quidditch Cup boxes, right? If you look at this one, these are both the same side. If you look, this one has Wizard of the Coast logos up here on the box, but on this one, there is no Wizard of the Coast. You can see that these Wizard of the Coast on this box is a little bit lower, where these are kind of smack dab in the center of the box. And then it's the same thing with the front. You look at where the logos are. This one, they're kind of close to each other, but then you see this box has this little Wizard logo right here, but then when you look at this box, there is none in the corner. So every box has their own fingerprint. So definitely the box at EA Collectibles opened based off of what Rattle said in his video. It does look like it was the right box. PokeTrav had a guarantee, meaning he guarantees all his products, and EA Collectibles opened up the box on their Whatnot stream. The first two packs weren't even first edition packs. They were unlimited Neo Gen packs, and then right below it was a bunch of Hidden Fates packs. It is tough. Does the timeline with when Hidden Fates came out, does that guarantee you that that is when those packs were resealed into that booster box? It doesn't really guarantee anything, in my opinion, because if you have somebody who is a big breaker, they might be breaking a ton of, Hidden Fates products. So Hidden Fates might actually be the packs that they have the most empty of, just because it didn't look like the Hidden Fates packs were sealed. It looked like the Hidden Fates packs were already pre-opened. I could be wrong with that. I would have to go back and check. But just because the Hidden Fates packs are in there does not guarantee that it was resealed during the time of Hidden Fates. So the question is now, where did Trav get that booster box from, and are you able to find out where it's coming from? Because the same way as I showed you this Wizard, so if I wanted to reseal this booster box, right, or let's just say this is real Wizard of the Coast wrapping, Quidditch Cup 2003 WotC. We know this is from the WotC factory. I know this is sealed. I know this is real wrapping. Now, it would be really hard for me to be able to cut this seam exactly and then to reseal it, because this wrapping is already very tight on these booster boxes, because this booster box, this is not Neo Gen, but this is Gym Challenge. So if you look, these booster boxes are let me go to my right video. So these booster boxes are exactly the same size, even though one's Harry Potter, they're exactly the same. But the difference is if I were to take this wrapping and try to put it on this box, it would actually be really hard to get a good seal on this. So what people ended up doing was they would take Magic the Gathering boxes, because if you know Magic the Gathering boxes, they're not twice as long, but they're like this long. So they're the length of this booster box plus another half a box, because Magic the Gathering boxes are just longer. So what people would do is they take the Magic the Gathering wrap, cut the edge off, slide the booster box off out of the wrapping, so you still have that real Wizard of the Coast wrapping, and then they'll take a box they're going to reseal, they're going to slide it into that, and then they're going to cut this with like a you get like a resealer. It looks like this. You just close it down, it's going to reseal, and it's going to give you that perfect edge on those booster boxes. So that's a way that people are going to reseal like WotC era booster boxes with real WotC Wizard of the Coast wrapping, because one of the things you can do to like figure out fake WotC wrapping is like if there's a trademark on it, and you could kind of really look. So right after, so you got the Wizards, and then it goes Wizard of the Coast, and then there's a little R for like the, I said trademark, but it's a little R for like the registered, and some of the call Etsy wrap. So the fake Wizard, because there is fake Wizard of the Coast wrapping. A lot of the fake Wizard of the Coast wrapping doesn't have that R on it, but it's not like, it's not perfect too. And now this WotC wrapping feels like this, where, hold on. So I have fake wrapping over here. So I'm going to play this. So this is like, this is clear wrapping, but if you listen, ready? Just like me going like this, it's very crinkly, and you could probably hear it pretty well on the mic. Where this WotC wrapping, it doesn't have like the same texture to it. This is super loud. This doesn't have nearly the same amount of crunchiness to it. So like that is one of the ways you can tell fake Wizard of the Coast wrapping. But the problem is too is how many people are experts in cellophane. You know, because it's just not enough. That's why you have to open boxes. That's really going to be the only way that you could truly verify that booster boxes are not resealed. So PokeTrev offered this, you know, money back guarantee, and then when EA Collectibles opened up the booster box on a live stream, was like, hey dude, like the booster box you sold us didn't have, you know, Neo Gen first edition packs in it, can we get our refund? And then PokeTrev pretty much told him no. He was like, not giving you a refund. And I don't know if he didn't give him a refund because he just didn't have the money available. PokeTrev said he wanted to like go and get money from the person he bought the booster box from, but that's tough, man. Like, that's not a good way to run a business, especially in this hobby. Like, $26,000 is a lot of money. Not a lot of people have $26,000, but it's not really worth it in this hobby to throw your name, you know, through the mud over 26 grand. Especially if you are running a business, it's just not worth it. The reward is 26,000, I guess, but to throw your whole name, it's rough. So what I want to know more is the backstory of these booster boxes, because like, so a booster box is one of the things you're going to do is when you have a booster box, this one is real. I'm not going to, so these Wizard of the Coast booster boxes, there's all these little dots here, right? And when you push down on those, you can break those seals. And you can like look with you just get a flashlight or use your phone light, and you can look in and you can see the top packs. I'm not worried about this Harry Potter box, but like when you break it, but now there's a bunch of other things too. So like this is a beat up Gym Challenge box, right? But what happened is when people would open the box back in the day, they would go like this, because you got to keep in mind, people didn't really think much of it, so they would put it in. But when you put it in, you start to make folds or creases in the box. So then when you're examining a box, you're looking for where those creases and where those folds are. So if somebody did open the box, sure, somebody could have definitely opened the box just like this, took the packs out that way, and then real cleaned. But most people didn't do that. Most people, when they open a booster box, they made it into the display. So when you look for those, or if you have any sort of like lines or cracks or dents in the booster box, that's why when you're looking at the wrapping, if you see that the box has like some obvious damage behind it, but when you look at the wrapping itself, the wrapping is super clean over those dents. A lot of times that means like a little bit of like nefarious stuff happened. Or on the bottom of WotC boxes, like on the bottom of this box, is they're white. And one of the best things about white is that white picks up dirt super, super easy. So there'll be a lot of times where when you're examining the box, you might see like a little bit of dirt or a little bit of staining or something that just looks a little bit off, almost as if that box was sat down on something, maybe it rubbed up against something. It doesn't have to be like crazy, but then when you look at it, if you're going, wait a second, this is underneath the plastic, how did it get there? You know, there's a lot of like little things you can do to look at a booster box. And again, like the big things are is you're looking for any sort of damage. And then these Wizard of the Coast boxes, they have like this little rippling effect that goes across some of the tops, but none of that is a guarantee that the box you have is fake. None of those are a guarantee that the box you have is real. Trust me, these boxes came off an assembly line going a million miles per hour. A lot of these boxes happen to get a little bit of dirt on them. These boxes have been around for 25 years. They've been thrown around, knocked down, dents. There could be little dings and dents in the box. Just because it's absolutely not case fresh, pristine, doesn't mean that it's not real too. And that's why the only true way you're ever going to be able to verify a box is you got to open it. But that cellophane wrap for Wizard of the Coast maybe cost an eighth of a cent back then. Maybe 8 of those wraps were worth a penny, maybe, because they were probably buying all the stuff in bulk. So, or let's just call it a penny. We're going to round up. That wrap to Wizard of the Coast cost about a penny. Today, fast forward today, you cut that wrapping with a razor blade, you could devalue a booster box thousands of dollars, because people in this hobby are crazy. So you do run into this weird thing where does it make sense to verify booster boxes? And then a lot of people are on the fence about CT scanning and IIC. I've been following IIC right now. They haven't done anything wrong that I can see. It looks like they're running a pretty tight ship so far. I can't even imagine the amount of cards and products that they're getting right now. It's got to be a lot. But if IIC can continue to keep their name strong, like I said, I haven't heard a single negative about IIC. A lot of people were worried about like swapping out packs and all this stuff. I haven't seen any of that yet. Haven't heard of any of that, because when you send boxes to IIC, you're supposed to like put this stuff in your own tamper-proof baggie or whatnot and put like, your own custody seal on it. So they're going to scan that booster box through your baggie, right? So it'd be hard for them to swap out product. But one of the potential like values of CT scanning is they would have been able to identify, hey, we CT scanned this box of Neo Gen First Edition and there were Hidden Fates cards inside here, or you didn't have like 12 hollows, and if you did, hey, one of the hollows in there was from Hidden Fates, it's not from 1999, or sorry, Neo Gen was 2000, it's not from the year 2000. So Cheval said, PK, let's say I own the biggest online forum. Sorry, that was a rant, I know. For those of you that stick with the rant, that you want to hear my closing statement, I appreciate it. But Cheval says, PK, let's say I own the biggest online forum about Pokemon cards and had access to people's private DMs without people knowing. Would that be evil? So that exact situation already did happen, Chevals. Forgot about that. Forgot about the old E4 drama. Never a dull day, huh, Chevals? Thank you for reminding me of that. Danzar TCG said, do you put cards in plastic for monetary gain or to grow your collection evil? I mean, you can make the argument that if you take a card, you take said card, and you put it in a piece of plastic, just like a penny sleeve, you might inherently be doing evil things. Just because, why do you care about the condition of these cards? Don't you know these are playing cards? These are children's playing cards. They're made to be played with. They're made to be felt. That's what they're made for. God forbid you just happen to like take care of what you like. So, Son of a Merc says, by the way, PSA now categorizes altered cards. I heard about that, but I haven't, like, researched about that at all. I am curious, Son of a Merc, exactly what that means. So Nicholas Cantino said AGS, AAC, UAD, USA, EUR, GBD, Australia. Some of those may be currencies, yes. Cheval says MNT graded #1 card grading company forever. Their slabs can repel bullets. I did crack open an MNT slab once. Basic Trainer said, are we hating on arbitrage in 2024? Basic, we hate on everything. It's just, what's the flavor of the month? What's the flavor of the day? Let's see. So you've got Fat Belly Collects in the chat. Good to see you, bud. Let's see. Cardboard Collector said, more drama helps them forget about CT scanning. Let's see. So Did Jen said, I mean, if there's money involved, there's going to be fishy stuff no matter what. That's, I think, the unfortunate reality. I mean, Jen brought up a good statement. When money is involved, fishy stuff will happen. But the problem is the more money that is involved, the more and more nefarious players will come in. And we're very early on at the cusp, or call it the precipice, of when shady characters are going to come in the hobby. When the dollar amounts get big enough, more and more shady characters will come in. And the more shady people that come in, the fakes will get better. And the reseals will get better. And it will become harder and harder in the future to, like, identify some of this stuff. You know, we saw it on Whatnot and stuff. People, all the, like, the stuff that Rattle exposed with the Blake's Breaks, how they were potentially mapping all these packs and doing the Guesty Energy games and, abusing this for their gains. And then we've also seen videos on Whatnot where people were doing mystery slab bag pulls, and they were supposed to pull the camera off screen, and they accidentally kept the camera on screen, and then somebody put in, like, the chase grab bag at the very end, meaning it was never in there, so you never even had the option or opportunity to actually pull that chase grab bag. And, like, that is on the lowest end of scammers. The highest end of scammers is going to be people that are able to, resale booster boxes where they're, for all intents and purposes, they're perfect. Real boxes, real packs, real cards, real wrapping. That is, like, the most dangerous side of this hobby, because there's two words that are very, very scary, and people don't understand how important these two words are going to be in the future of this hobby. It's two words. Ready? Plausible deniability. Those two words, plausible deniability, are very, very scary, because I'll give you an example. We saw pretty recently, it was when it was before Fanatics took over PWCC. PWCC was selling booster boxes on the platform. They were not verifying anything, and they sold an Expedition booster box. That Expedition booster box had Wizard of the Coast wrapping. It made its way through the PWCC authenticity check that they did, and then it had 2 Expedition packs on top, and then below that were all Crimson Invasion packs. The problem is that same booster box, it failed the plausible deniability test for one reason, that there was Crimson Invasion packs in it. Now, for the sake of argument, what happens if somebody has 36 Expedition packs and they resealed those Expedition packs? You might be asking yourself, well, there won't be the hits in there, so people would know this is a 36 dud box. No. Go right now. Pause this video, go on eBay, type in PSA 8 or PSA 7 Expedition cards, and see how much money does a PSA 8 non-chase, call it one of the bulkier hollows, what do they cost? And you're going to look and go, whoa, that's a relatively clean card. PSA 8 contender cards are very, very definitely possible to come fresh out of packs. Everyone's just going to say, wow, this is really bad luck. Now imagine if you had 36 Expedition packs, 12 of them had PSA 8 They were cracked out of PSA cases, 8 hollow expedition cards. That booster box, to recreate that booster box, meaning to repackage it, you're probably looking at somewheres in the realm of $600 to $700 to perfectly make an expedition booster box, meaning to source all the commons in near mint, to source the uncommons, the non-hollow rares, the reverse hollows, and then really, really cheap hollows. You're looking probably between $600 to $700 if you source those cards correctly. We'll even go a little higher, maybe $800, $900, and at that point you're now jumping a couple levels and you're really, really verifying that the quality of those cards are super high. You could recreate an expedition booster box with 12 crappy hollows in it. I don't say crappy meaning condition, just crappy chases for $700 to $900. That booster box you can sell all day between $35,000 and $45,000. The amount of money you can make by reselling that box is ridiculous. And then those two dangerous words, plausible deniability, protects that seller, because that seller now, that box would have went through PWCC. It would have been opened on a live stream. The live stream people might have been like, oh wow, this is weird, like we're not getting a lot of great hits, but we bought it from PWCC. It was verified. Look, it has 36 expedition packs in it. 12 of these packs were still heavy. Hell, throw them off the trail. Make it a super heavy box. Just load it with 13 hollows. Push people off on the set even harder, because you could have expedition boxes fluctuate between 12 hits to 14. Like, throw a 13 in there. And then people are going to say, why would somebody reseal an expedition booster box and put 12 hollows in it? It doesn't make any sense. Well, it does. It makes tons of sense. And then the problem is you have those two words, plausible deniability from the seller. It goes, I didn't reseal this. It looks good to me. It had hollows. Grade the hollows. They sent them all away for grading. They all get PSA 8s. The guy's like, hey, man, that's just bad luck. Hey, they're still 8s. Like, I didn't do this. And that's it. That box would have died there, and nobody would have been able to prove otherwise. So that is a scary thing, because those two words, plausible deniability. But now it brings in a third word into this conversation. That third word is repeatability. Now, why repeatability is so important, because that guy that resealed that box that had plausible deniability, he can now keep repeating this. Where now somebody tries to, say, take that same expedition booster box and put those Crimson Invasion packs in it. Well, guess what? Plausible deniability is thrown out the roof, because now they're going to go back to the seller and say, where did you source this booster box from? Now he has to come up with an answer. But the second thing is, he can never repeat that. It's done. It's a one and done scenario. He made that one resale, put Crimson Invasion packs in it, and he's done. He's out of the game. Poof, gone forever. He can't repeat it. But he can do repeatability. Like, that's the dangerous thing. We could be seeing repeatability happening right now in this hobby, and people don't know. Because the people doing the repeatability have plausible deniability. It's a scary thought. But it's something that doesn't get brought up enough, because I think people always think it's not happening. When you talk about making $20,000, $30,000 with very minimal effort to resale 36 packs, maybe 10 minutes worth of time, right? That's about 10 minutes to go on TCG Player, or to just blindly buy a bunch of near mint cards. So whatever, it's like 300, that would be like 300 cards, or 300 whatever cards. You could probably do that over the course of like a couple hours here and there, just sourcing these cards. Go on eBay, search PSA 8 listings, buy it now, all of them, maybe another hour. So let's say you're all into this for 4 to 5 hours worth of your time. That 4 to 5 hours, you have the potential to make $20,000 for 5 hours worth of your time. What is the average salary in America? The average salary in America is like $60,000. That means somebody could spend 5 hours and make 1/3 of the average salary for, a U.S. citizen. Sure, there's reason for people to do these. Now, what if they could do that 3 times a year? They've now made the entire average salary of an American household with 15 hours worth of time. And they keep repeating it. Listen, it's a scary thing. Go on eBay right now. Look at booster boxes. Booster boxes sell empty. Empty booster boxes sell every day on eBay. And the cleaner the copy, the higher the price they get. Empty packs sell on eBay. Empty pack wrapper lots sell on eBay. Old packs sell for a really lot of money. Why is all this stuff happening? Is it coincidence? Or do you just have, like... there is a market for... this is an empty box. This thing is as beat up as it gets. You know? There's a market for boxes like that, even though it's super beat up. Alright. Hour. You guys really sticking around. You want to see my closing rebuttal, huh? Basic Trainer said the Mewtwo is the best Mewtwo card in the game. Let's go. I'm going to keep jumping to the bottom. Alright. Let's see. Nikki Slabbage. I just saw your super chat. You said, make a Blastoise car wash promo with Champ Gym promo. There you go. Nikki said, newsflash, PK runs the Pokemon Company into the ground. Yes. I don't know why your super chats invite me on a live. PK, my guy, I'm not evil. How did I miss all your super chats? If I'm missing your guys' super chats, I am sorry. Alright. So. Let's see. Think Forward said, LL, PK. Because I went and I checked it for super chats. Think Forward said, PK has to resale all the G.I. Joes, yes. Mason Berry said, PK is scary, LL, yes. Nick said he's got the... Oh, I got all kinds of stuff. Trust me. Snackbread said, I love the show and tell. Basic Trainer said, PK kind of sus, yes. Mimic Brew said, Wizard of the Coast rap tastes better, yeah. Fresh Tat says, PK supplied collectible guru before he went down, yeah. Cheval says, PK also sells passports. Choose your nationality, DM open, yes. Basic said, PK would like to make you think he's in his basement, but he's actually in a bunker 100 feet under, yes. Cheval says, PK survivalist confirmed. PK stocking up on Harry Potter for the end of times. Peekapoo said, when do we get a collection tour? I tried to record a collection tour. It's not fun. It's like, here's a cardboard box, guys. Here's another cardboard box. Yeah. Hold on. Let me move this. So I will give you guys like a little peek of kind of just the ridiculous that... Hold on. Before I do that, let me pull up this. So I will give you guys like a little peek. Just what... So like that is just like one shelf, right? So on the top, comics. That booster box that's sideways that's a Mega Man booster box. That's a Yu-Gi-Oh booster box. That's Harry Potter the movie booster box. These are a bunch of PSA boxes. These are all a bunch of PSA graded card sleeves. There's a bunch of like random shit. You got some Burger King movie promos because I pulled those out relatively recently in order to pull out my Charizard promos. Hold on. Let's see. That is... Hold on, let me see. You got Looney Tunes, GoldenEye, bunch of 1, 2, 3, 4 random TCGs. Those are Flintstone cards. Yeah. Trust me. You don't wanna... Oh no. Let's see if I can fix this now. This might be the end of the live if I can't figure out. So yeah. There's a lot of shells that look just like that off the side of my screen. And they're stacked up. Oh, God. The booster boxes, they're stacked up. There's piles of them. They go super deep. It's a lot of cardboard. It's a lot of mess. You don't want a collection tour. You don't. It's going to be a lot of pulling shit out. And that is one rack. And then there's a rack next to that rack. There's a rack here. There's a rack here that I could pull stuff from. I got a bookcase right here. I got this thing right here. I got all these slabs right here. You don't want a collection tour. You just gotta, as time goes, we will just casually pull stuff up. Alright. Peekapoo said, also, do you think going to a Collecticon would be better than going to Worlds? In my opinion, with the group of people that I surround myself with, yes, I would have more fun at a Collecticon. Fresh Tat says, halfway from 69 likes, yes. Yeah. To do collection tours, it would be tough. I don't know, like, what to show people. Like, here. I got a booster box of Hunchbacks of Notre Dame's cards. Do you want to see Hunchback of Notre Dame cards? Like, does this tickle your fancy? There's a lot of stuff. Like, that's why when I go over there, it's just, yeah. Like, I could go, it would actually, some of it would be fun, but, let's see. One Shot Girl said, just now popping in to say hello, and I hope the stream's been going on well. Good to see you, One Shot Girl. Appreciate you hopping in. Let's see. Cheval said, Logan Paul is his moral compass. I saw him push his dog in the lake and have the engine on the boat almost chew it up. I don't even know what that is about. Alright. Nikki Slabich said, PK could use this gift for Evil, yes. I could. Problem is Mason Berry said, goddamn, we're good. We're lucky. PK is one of the good guys, yes. See. So 69 Tail says PSA 8s usually have whitening and or hollow scratches. No way they would pass for new cards unless you found super clean 8s. Well, that's not true. That's not true at all. Let's pull out some 8s. That's definitely not true. That is not true at all. Nope, wrong box. Here we go. Here's... Okay. Here we go. I'm going to show you why that's not true. Right? Fossil. Unlimited. A lot of people would say that the Gengar is the chase from Fossil, right? Ready? You have that little bit of whitening. Look at that corner. Look at that corner. Look at that corner. Look. I'm going to even do something for you guys. Ready? Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second. Little screwdriver. So now, Gengar's out. There is the former PSA 8. that hollow is super clean, right? Look at those edges, right? You got a little bit of like whitening. That's all pack fresh whitening. Look at that corner. Look at that corner. You could pick up cards that look like this. If this card came out of a pack, no one says, why would somebody pack an unlimited fossil Gengar? Gengar's like one of the chases of fossils. How much do you think this card cost? How much is a heavy fossil pack cost? Somebody pulls a Gengar out of a heavy fossil pack. They pulled one of the best hollows in all of fossil. I bet you if this card came out on a certain break, you would hear people screaming their freaking heads off. Because they'd be like, yeah! Yeah! Woo! Fucking yeah! They would just, you know, all the hype boys, they would be so happy. Because they just pulled the PSA 8 Gengar out. What else I got? I got more. What else we got? Oh, here we go. What's the second best hollow in fossil? Moltres, right? Look at that. You see any print lines on that hollow? Let's look at these corners. Got a little whitening right there, but that could all be pack fresh. Again, this is a PSA 8. Those look pretty clean to me. You got a little whitening right there, but you got 4 clean hollows. Or sorry, 4 clean corners. Got a little whitening right there on this Moltres. I don't know. Let's crack it out. Let's get a... You know why I could crack them out? Because I could just resubmit these cards, and at a minimum, I get an 8. You know why? Because when cards like this come up, I'm always looking for these. Uh-oh, where did I put my screwdriver? Oh, here's my screwdriver. Now we... Hello, Mr. Moltres. So now, here's the Moltres tag. There's the Moltres. Remember where the white... So, look at the hollow. Clean. You remember where the whitening was? Right? I showed you in the center. We knew that whitening was there. Look at the corners. Corner. Clean. 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 So anybody... I'm really trying to make an example right here to tell you that PSA 8s don't always have whitening in the corners. And if you're constantly watching PSA 8s come up for sale non-stop, meaning eBay notifications on, listen, there's some shitty 8s that exist. I just pulled out. Here, I got more 8s. What do we got? Here's a Jungle 8. Here's a Jungle 8. And a little wiggly tough hollow for you. Look. Corners. Corners look clean. Little venom off. Corners. Look clean. What do you got? Snorlax and an 8? Let's see. Corner. Oh, look. We got a little whitening on a Snorlax. Looks pretty clean. Little pincer. Ooh, and a 7. Let's see what a 7 looks like. Look. There's some whitening for a 7. That corner looks pretty clean. That corner, little whitening. That corner, little whitening. Guess what? This is in a pack. Nobody fucking bats an eye. No one. You know why? Because it's pretty freaking clean. Because they already pulled out a Snorlax, and they already pulled out a Venomoth, they already pulled out a Wigglytuff, and they grade them all, and they all come back 8s. And you know what people are going to say? That's bad luck. You just happen to have bad luck. All those hollows probably came off the same sheet. That's why they hit an 8. The blades were probably the same. It's too bad. And then on the fossil break, they got the Gengar and they got the Moltres. They said, these are 2 great fossil cards. What do you... they came back an 8. That's unfortunate. Who would repack a heavy jungle pack with a Gengar? Go on eBay. Type in unlimited PSA 8 Gengar right now. And then type in heavy jungle pack. And how much money did you just make repacking it with literally the best card in the set. This is a Hype Boy card. This is a Gengar. This is a Scream Your Freaking Face Off card. This hobby could destroy people. This is what it is. This is what it is. Everybody in this hobby's evil. Everyone. You repack heavy jungle packs with PSA 8 Gengars. Plausible deniability. And that third word, repeatability. You just repeat. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. You pick up a light jungle pack, you open it up perfectly, you keep all the commons, uncommons, it doesn't matter because you're not paying the heavy premium. Then you go and you source an 8 and you throw it in there. You throw a Gengar in that light jungle pack. So you took a light pack that cost almost nothing because you're probably able to like buy them all in bulk. Somebody opened up a booster box, sold all the lights, so they sold 24, and you're like, I'll buy all 24. I'll pay you like nothing. They're like, oh yeah, one buyer, that's super easy. I'll give you my best possible price for these lights. You open them all up, and then you go and you source a bunch of Moltres and 8s. You source a bunch of Gengars, and then, or sorry, Fossil. What am I even saying? Jungle? Sorry. Jungle. Fossil. The Fossil. I've been saying Jungle. But you buy a bunch of light Fossil packs. You perfectly open it up. You put the heavy in. You put the hits in. You reseal. And then you sell it as a heavy. And then you literally just bought a bunch of lights and you instantly made hundreds upon thousands to potentially tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands if you do this long enough, if you're on Whatnot and somebody can't actually put their hands on the pack. So then maybe you didn't do a great resale job. Maybe your resale job is just mediocre at best, but it doesn't matter. You as the buyer, you don't get to handle that pack because you got a Whatnot guy open it selling heavy packs. And that Fossil heavy that you bought from that Whatnot guy that he opened up on the live stream, and you couldn't really feel the pack. You couldn't, like, was it resealed? I don't know. But then you opened up the Gengar, and then the chat goes, oh, these packs aren't resealed. He pulled the Gengar. The Gengar! He pulled the fucking Gengar out of that Fossil pack. He definitely did not reseal these packs because nobody would reseal a heavy pack with a Gengar because that would be stupid. And then he sends you all the cards. He sends you the pack wrap it with it. You look at it. There's no glue on it because he wouldn't use glue to reseal the pack. He would only use heat. So by heat sealing the pack, there is no residue. You will never know. Never. You never know that pack's resealed. And then you look at your commons. Well, all those commons literally came from the light pack. So they're all near mint. You look at the uncommons. They were from that light pack. All he did was he removed the rare and put a PSA 8 in there. You look at all the cards. They're all near mint. They're all shiny and sparkly and brand new because they were a real light pack. And then you look at the holo and you're like, well, I knew there was an uncommon sheet for Fossil. I knew there was an uncommon sheet. And then there was a holo sheet. So obviously this card is on a different sheet because it came off the holo sheet. So this dude has the most perfect plausible deniability, and you will never be able to prove it that he resealed it, because when you grade it, it's going to come back an 8, and that's still near mint by most qualifications in this entire hobby, whether it's PSA, whether it's CGC's standards, whether it's TCG player. It is near mint through and through and through. And if I hand this card to 20 different people in this hobby, they're all going to look at this Gengar and they're going to go, this is a near mint Gengar PK. Yeah, it's not going to be. And then they're all going to look at it and go, yeah, but it's not a 10. And I'll go, yeah, I know. And they'll go, yeah, I don't think you get a 9 on it. But you'll definitely get an 8. Maybe you'll get a 9. That's what everyone would say to me. Everyone. If I had 20 people in a room, and then I would go, I already knew all that. Anyways. So, just really trying to prove my point. To say that you can't pick up near mint 8s is preposterous. Sorry. Sometimes I could rant, sometimes I can't. Today, I rant. Cheval says, where's the Sonic welder? There's a welder over there. Shek says, flip through a binder. That's a start. We could flip through a Marvel binder. You want to flip through a Marvel binder? Nah, no binders right now. Let's see. Let's see. Sorry. Mimic Brew said, sorry, I sometimes I jump to the bottom, I try to hop back up. Let's see. Basic Trainer said PK Scammer Workbench. Yeah, there was a paper cutter on there, like if I want to trim cards. That was on the workbench. But that's not used. There's a paper cutter. If you were going to trim cards, you guys just saw it. Let's see. Let's see. Nicholas said PK's trying to tickle my pickle tonight with some Disney card ass, yeah. Magnificent TCG said Hunchback of Notre Dame box with CT scan. That's why I didn't open it. Also very true. If you're gonna CT scan any booster box, it's the Hunchback of Notre Dame cards. Let's see. People are saying spit on that thing. Creative Home says, well said in the first minute, we are all evil, yes. So Nature's said, keep in mind when you're listing on eBay, when you list as near mint, aka 7s are near mint, it equals the pack fresh, yes. Basic Trainer said Gengar is the 8th best set in that 8th best hollow in that set. Basic Trainer, we all know what your number 1 hollow is in that Aerodactyl. Let's see. Cheval says PK blessing us with some clip golden nuggets tonight, yes. Brown CLM said best PK live, yes. Let's see. Nick Slavich says PK ruins PSA. No, I'm gonna grade that again. I'm gonna get an 8 again. It's gonna cost me. You guys literally cost me $15 to prove a point. In fact, it's $30. I gotta grade 2 of those again. But with my luck, I will probably get a 9 because usually the goal is you originally graded a 9, then you resend it away, you'll get an 8, and then you send it away for the 3rd time, and usually it's a 10. But in this case, it might be a 9. Nature's Espeon said Dragonite is a chase of fossil. Yeah, but I didn't have a Dragonite near me. Son of a Merc says, just when you thought you dug deep, you see a PK was here sign. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Mason Berry said PK full Keith Ledger Joker right now. Let's see. You know, you guys, you tune in. Sometimes you get deep enough down the rabbit hole. You get some just PK rants. You know, I never know what. For those of you out there that I've been able to give you joy every Thursday night, for those of you that watch me afterwards on Friday, I do appreciate you. Oh God, the chat is brutal tonight. I love it though. Cheval's is great. Basic Trainer said PK needs to be put on someone's watch list. Cheval says PK cracking his way to Dubai. Tony said that's what's up when PK goes beyond the 1 hour mark. Grab your baskets. This is great. Nicholas says, PK, you went full scammer. You never go... I didn't go full scammer. You don't even know what if I had an evil character arc, it would be the most ridiculous character arc ever. You would never... The reason why I talk about this stuff is because I don't do it. Like, that's why. But I've practiced doing all this stuff so I know what to look for. I think that's just as important. Like, it really... I mean that. Like, you... If you don't know, a lot of people will say, like, do you think this is resealed? And I promise you, the people that will put their 2 cents in and will give you their opinion on whether or not it is resealed, they wouldn't even know what to look for a resale. What does a good resale look like? What does a bad resale look like? They wouldn't know. Like, that's the thing. Like, that's the most important thing you got to take away from it. Is I do all this stuff because I'm like, if I'm gonna, and I don't use the word expert, but if I'm gonna consider myself like a Pokemon hobby enthusiast, and I'm going to even dabble in this market, if I don't know what I'm looking at, I'm already like losing this race. So you gotta know what to look for. It is so important. And the problem is the more you know in this hobby, you will find out the less you actually know. Let's see. Mason Berry said, PK, you're scaring the children. Yes. Let's see. So I just jumped down to the bottom. Well, first, Scott's Red said, CT scanning is so 2023. I use gold sleuthing boxes to find my heavies. Nature's Expion says, PK's evil character arc involves buying old printing presses and ink from Wizard of the Coast. Yes. Alright. So anyways, you guys want to know my opinion on the whole craziness that happened. So I'm going to leave you guys with the video that's pre-recorded. That's going to end this live. But with that said, guys, every Thursday night, love you guys. Appreciate you hopping in. For those of you guys that could stick through my most ridiculous of rants that ever existed, I appreciate you. If you guys could do me a favor before you leave, before you watch this pre-recorded video, hit that like button. If you're new to this channel and you've just listened to somebody rant about nothingness again for, I don't even know how long I've been ranting for, hour and 26 minutes, and you're not subscribed, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. But other than that, guys, appreciate every single one of you. I'll leave you with this video. And as always, I'll catch you on the next video.
Now that's also assuming that we don't get multiples of like Hitmonchan and some of the other holographics that people don't really like. But who knows, maybe we'll get doubles of Charizard. The way that pack was kind of bending right there, I'm thinking that might be a holographic right there. Fingers crossed. Wow, looky there. A first edition Charizard, pack number 4. Unfortunately, I do not think it will be grading a PSA 10 just because of the centering, and I think there's a line that's kind of just goes right across as a printing defect. But nevertheless, this is a pack fresh first edition Charizard. As for damage, I'm